Hey everybody, happy Easter. Man, I really hope you enjoyed service. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do on our website or our Facebook page. Definitely not gonna wanna miss it. Now we're doing something a little different as far as Kid Street goes. We're doing a Kid Street Easter Jam. And this isn't just for your preschool or elementary age kids. We want the whole family to participate. So go ahead and get everyone in the house, get everybody together in front of your computer or your TV, because this is gonna be an amazing Easter jam. Now, the only way you're not gonna have fun is if you don't participate. So make sure that everybody is participating, because we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1.
Easter, a time for fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
So we're gonna be talking about today what makes Easter so happy. You know, if you don't know the whole Easter story, that's okay. We're gonna dive into it a little bit more today, but you know, Easter is probably the most happy day of the year. Now, before we talk about that though, we have a challenge for you. We're gonna show you on the screen 3 different ways that we would love for you to connect with your friends and family today. So you can pick one, or you can pick all 3 of these challenges. But we're gonna give you some time. If you have to, go ahead and pause the video and connect with your peeps today. Check it out. Happy Easter to you too. Have a great day. Oh, sorry. So I just had like 9 people respond to my text messages. Feels good to just like stay in contact with people when we're stuck at home, doesn't it? Even though we're celebrating Easter totally different than what we have in the past, I know it looks different. Easter is still gonna be a happy, happy day, because there is a powerful message and a powerful story of what happened thousands of years ago on the very first Easter. You know, it is a simple story, but it is a powerful story. So simple, in fact, that it can be told with, well, laundry. Check this out.
In the beginning, God created everything. He formed people in His very own image. But then, we turned away from God. Sin entered the world, like a dark stain. Still, God loved us so deeply that He made a plan to rescue us. At just the right moment, God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to live among us. Jesus healed hearts and minds and bodies. Thousands gathered to hear Him teach. Instead of giving lots of new rules, Jesus turned things upside down by making it simple. Love God, love others. After 3 years of traveling and teaching, Jesus and His disciples entered Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. Huge crowds gathered to welcome Him. But while the crowds cheered for Jesus, the religious leaders made plans to arrest Him. He was turning their world upside down, and they wanted Him gone. As Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with His friends, He told them that He would be leaving, but would return. His friends didn't understand. That night, one of Jesus' followers, Judas, led soldiers to arrest Him. The religious leaders gave Jesus a fake trial and then sent Him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who could have Him killed. Pilate found Jesus had broken no law and tried to release Him. But a mob called for Jesus to be killed. Pilate gave in and handed Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Jesus was forced to carry the heavy beams of His own wooden cross. On a hill called Golgotha, the soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the rough wood. The soldiers and people who passed by laughed and mocked Him. But from the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive them. Finally, Jesus called out, "It is finished." Then He died. The earth shook. Rocks split open. Even the soldiers cried, "Surely He was the Son of God." One of Jesus' followers took His body and placed it in a tomb cut from the rock. A huge stone blocked the entrance. Jesus' friends were devastated. They had believed that Jesus was the one God promised, the one who would rescue them, but now He was gone. Their whole world had turned upside down. Jesus' friends stayed hidden in fear for 3 days. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, a close friend of Jesus, hurried to the tomb. She planned to anoint Jesus' body with special spices. As Mary neared the tomb, she saw the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. Mary turned to see a man standing near. She didn't recognize him until he said, "Mary." It was Jesus, alive. Jesus told her, "Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me." Jesus, God's Son, became like us to lay down His life. Through God's power, He defeated death for all of us, and sin was washed away. One day, He's promised to return, so we can live with Him forever.
Man, every time I hear that Easter story, it just amazes me. And as I was sitting here watching with you guys, I actually jotted down a few notes that I wanted to share with you. The first one is, God sent Jesus to the world to remind me He is greater than anything that could go wrong in our world. And the simple fact that Jesus came back to life is proof that I can face anything bad that happens in my life. I like to think about it in this way. I can because Jesus is alive. So I started to write down some things. I wrote down, I can keep loving because Jesus is alive. I can be brave because Jesus is alive. And I can have hope because Jesus is alive. So before we get into our next activity today, we thought we'd have some time that we would worship together with one of my favorite songs called Happy Day. So get the whole family up, get on your feet, and let's sing and praise God together.
Day in history, death is beating, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. I stand in that place, free at last, meeting face to face. I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. In this joy, perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive.
Okay, that was a good song. And I gotta admit, I don't have it like I used to. Okay, now that we got our blood boiling, now that we got our brains thinking, we want to give you another challenge. We want you to gather together as a family. We have a couple of questions for you. We're going to put those up on the screen. And one of them is going to be what we talked about before. I can blank because Jesus is alive. We want you to talk about that as a family and talk about it together. So we're going to give you some time now. Feel free to hit pause if the discussion goes long, but take some time now to do that. We'll check in with you later. Well, I hope you guys had some awesome conversations together. You know, we are so glad that you were able to join us here for our Kid Street Easter Jam. We hope you had a great time with your family. You know, I think now, this Easter is the best time that we could possibly celebrate what God did for us by giving us His Son, Jesus Christ, to give us that hope we so desperately need right now. So cling to that hope. Cling to Jesus. Pray to Jesus, stay hopeful. This is all gonna end soon, but remember today is a happy, happy day. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us.